Welcome to Tidbit Talkin. This series is just spewing out assorted thoughts about boatloads of entertainment media. Some ideas are serious, others not so much. There will be spoilers for the series currently featured, but generally only vague references to any other connected ones in a shared universe. Now, with all that out of the way, here we go. Summer School, Chapter 1. Rick's fed up with Courtney's overzealous crime-seeking behavior well before everybody else, because wasting time is already something he's had to deal with constantly, considering his whole 1 hour limit restriction deal. On that note, Mr. Tyler must have been the first target of Eclipso hallucination shenanigans due to his whole overwhelmingly stressed and also not too chatty about personal junk thing, making him all external pushing vulnerable. This is displayed quite well when he never questions how these establishments those radio people claim Grundy ransack aren't totally destroyed. It doesn't seem like Captain Giant Zombie's current intelligence level is one that makes perfect cleanup action a particularly well-developed skill. Stargirl's trouble with English class could have very well been caused by her personal problems regarding father abandonment mystery crap, making the writing of life info-filled essays quite tricky indeed. Zeke's most likely rather skilled at lockpicking because it's something he's had to do quite often with salvaged cars. Between trunks and doors, there's a lot of unlocking mastery practice to be had there. Rick probably picked up fast food from one of the few places he doesn't believe Grundy has raided yet, both to give his friend more variety, and also so he doesn't bother people cleaning up and whatnot. It's quite unfortunate that he didn't visit one of these other supposedly messy locations though, considering if he had, he'd probably be privy to demonic entity-associated crap a fair bit earlier than everybody else. Courtney staring so intently at the Thinker's photo might be because her supervillain-stopping eager brain suspects mind control may have played a part in her accidental scuffle with Artemis earlier. Mike's photo wasn't in the Injustice Unlimited folder. It was most likely inside one labeled Targets or some such. Summer School, Chapter 2. Cindy's fake mom took so long attempting her literal Blue Valley retreat because she was waiting until a Dragon King abduction stemming contract ended before believing said fellow truly kicked the bucket and that such actions were actually possible now. Basically, something along the lines of his goons would have forced renegotiations by now or other such thought processes for what she's normally been reduced to after many fear-filled years. Mr. Magically Malevolent mainly must have been prodding the young Miss Vermin to feel guilty about various mother-associated things because he needs true negative feelings for feeding fun. Standard sociopath stuff seems simply too enjoyable for host people to make them viable snacks. Stripesy must have helped the original JSA out quite a lot with police contacting Hoopla using his uncanny vehicle identification skills. Summer School Chapter 3. Shade's logic-defying charm-filled persona, which he developed for old-life conman malarkey, makes Barbara feel uncomfortable because the last person who exhibited such behavior was a murderous ice person that only wanted to jump her bones. Pat's reluctance to bring Stripe along for their well-dressed villain confrontation plan is because his memories are filled with moments where the man currently known as Mr. Swift was quite civil with Dr. McNider, and also since he doesn't want to make more shadows with headlight doodads that could potentially be used against him. Thunderbolt requiring absolute specificity might have something to do with interpreting very meaning-filled same noise-making things from different languages, at least subconsciously, when said proper wording's not done. Basically, he might have to lean in particular directions when certain same-sounding stuff's spouted, because it tastes better or something. Dumping water on someone's head might be better for his people in a magically nutritious sense than undoing tax evasion or whatever. Just like normal bodily ones tend to be, supernatural instincts must be quite tricky to control. Better Hands-related request for said chaotic wish granter must have only considered close-by folks as candidates, because if the things were too far away, they couldn't reach that new JSA and help worldwide junk out too much. Either that or Jakeem just uses really good moisturizer. Given that younger Mr. Dugan was shown playing a Switch quite often, it's likely he's enjoyed some games with his friend who just got a fancy new pen here. The latter fellow's sister mentions Pac-Man and Luigi simultaneously. Pairing those two together in such a manner, coupled with her not really seeming like someone who'd research gaming history for fun, means she's likely used to seeing them alongside one another in modern stuff. Chances are Little Bro and his apparent only friend play Smash Ultimate together fairly often. Perhaps those two characters are the kid's mains. Considering this lad was dabbling with Q*bert a bit, chances are he'd be more drawn to the Yellow Dot Muncher, while Mr. Generally Feeling Neglected Sibling probably chose that green-cloaked eternal understudy dude. Summer School Chapter 4. Mike being put in the mystically imaginary new ISA picture must be so this young villainous replacement team could always have a reminder of their first outing contained previous entry surpassed cementing triumph moment where they killed those current JSA people right away. Sportsmaster going through with his threat and telling the world about Stripe would be quite troublesome for a couple reasons. Not only is super criminal revenge a potential problem, there'd also be the possibility that nefarious corporate folks might want to steal his impressive tech for pure greed shenanigan pursuing. Shade tossing the accursed diamond in those kooky deepest ocean parts is a rather good plan indeed. It would work quite well because he he'd be capable of reaching such dark places rather easily, while any less immortal individuals who might pursue it end up all pressure killed. If the gem itself broke because of such things, that same crap might annihilate Eclipso as well. Plus, it's likely that said horrifying guy can't actually swim, since his home dimension's nothing but an endless mass of black cloud stuff covered land. Him using that ectoplasm goo possession travel method witnessed at finale time gets ruled out too, since the water would dilute it too much before exploratory robots or meta people reached it. Also, fish and stuff most likely just can't handle his power, and are thus ruled out for a potential vessel run. The Cosmic Staff, who currently doesn't want Stargirl, physical confrontation entwined, won't leave until Sir Supremely Suave Sorta Sinister Suit gets mentioned, because it knows that dude just seeks a good chat at this moment. Summer School Chapter 5. Despite knowing the guy's friendly history with Charles McNider, Pat doesn't want Courtney, or anyone else for that matter, consulting Shade alone, because he's worried such too good to be true help kind of whatever might just be an Eclipso illusion. Paul's possessions put into play both because he has easy access to all those currently active young heroes, and also since his creativity-filled mind might be quite useful for a certain otherworldly demon in more ways than one. That is, his not entirely conventional thought process could easily bring forth particularly lavish metaphysical dishes, and also come up with somewhat unique ways to bring suffering upon other folks. Kinda related, Little Miss Patriotic seems directly aware of each of the custom hallucinations her teammates are experiencing during action time, while they themselves are only personal problem privy during those events. Chances are Eclipso determined that the best way to get Courtney to suffer was let her in on exactly how those she cherishes are being physically and emotionally tormented. The weather problems caused by this season's natural order threatening main nemesis might have inspired a certain chillingly evil grandmother to let her descendant know about their family's genetic power junk. Perhaps such people possess their own personal atmosphere, and are thus extra prone to immediate environment-dictated judgment call making. Summer School Chapter 6. Mike deciding upon giant drill installation isn't just because it both fits his father's safety specifications and reminds him of joyful times where he successfully sneak struck Sir Sinister Spore. Such a thing could also potentially help make more stripe-accessible places in a tight pinch, thus preventing situations like in Season 1's finale, where his dad only had one option for a villain-defeating operation. If Pat never showed up at the pit stop, Isaac would have assisted Artemis by covering up steel-smashing sounds and general break-in noises with a solo that's loud enough to do so without causing cop calls for other reasons. It must really help this plan that businesses often use classical music kind of things in waiting rooms and what have you. Shade knows Barbara is looking at his card because he can sense the small shadows form when light passes through its not character-filled portions. New Fiddler is the best at team effort performing because his orchestral and band pursuits demand working alongside others, even when loneliness is actively sought. Sportsmaster's sequel scores second place with all this because she's always been in a sort of similar situation during organized athletic activities. She does a better job at going all solo during such things though, since trying to outshine everyone under said circumstances generally doesn't cause ear bleed pain resembling side effects or anything. Isaac has the most trouble with staff sent spark shots since striking sound stuff's speed is only surpassed by lights. Being a seemingly overpowered rookie kinda tends to make one think practice and preparation aren't all that necessary. Rick's comment of "I'll live" regarding those broken ribs most likely stems from him experimenting with hourglass generated enhanced recovery after dealing with his awful uncle's physical abuse. Basically, the dude already knows he can turn the thing on tomorrow and be back at full power because his horrific caretaker has necessitated such things after throwing car parts at him or some other terrifying crap. Endings are a pain, but all of you are fantastic. See ya.